first up, our friends over at Dark Horse had sent us Kill All Immortals, number one. This is a new book from Dark Horse, as I mentioned, and it is written by Zach Kaplan with art by Fico Ocio, colors by Tiago Rocha, letters by Hassan Otsmane Elhau. Let me give you a quick synopsis of this book. Succession meets John Wick with immortal Vikings. 8,000 years ago, Viking explorer Erik the Red and his four adult children discovered a mysterious source of immortality. Now, in our modern world, they are an enigmatic billionaire family with powerful banking empire. But when Eric's only daughter, Frey, seeks to finally be free from her family's influence, she must be prepared to reveal the supernatural secrets and confront her well-trained siblings in a deadly epic struggle for power. Get ready for a bloodthirsty, immortal fight like no other. Now, Jeff, when I asked what you wanted to review this week, this was one of the books you mentioned. Now, why did you pick that one? Did you have any previous knowledge of it, or?
No, I just, when you asked, hey, do you want any review, are there any comics you want to review this week? I just started flipping through to see what was coming out next week. I noticed it was a number one that had a cool cover, and I recognized Zach Kaplan's name, so I was like, this is one.
This is Oliver Barrett on the cover, and yeah, I mean, covers will do that.
Yeah. So that was it. I know nothing about this comic going into it.
Okay. It's funny you picked this. So before I ask you what you thought of the book,
so kids' looks matter. That's what that's the lesson out of this. Kids' looks matter.
That's right.
You know, you're going to hear all this stuff about how it doesn't matter what you look like in this world. But
judge a book by its cover. All right. That's funny that comic books is literally teaching us the thing that we've been told all our lives not to do.
Yeah. You've been lied to this whole time.
That's right. But I'm glad you picked this. I did want to talk about this as well. Luckily for me, a few weeks ago, I got to talk to Zach Kaplan with my friend Mike over at I Read Comics.
Oh, nice.
That episode will be dropping the day of the release of this on Wednesday, so make sure to stay tuned for that. I'll share that when it comes out. So we got to talk about this. So I had already read it when you picked that. That's why I did. I was like, if you want to read another book, we can do that as well. So all right. All that being said, Jeff, what did you think of this book?
I enjoyed it. It did take me a bit to get into it. There's like the first half of the book is all set up.
Yeah.
And so the first half of the book is like, I don't know where we're going with this exactly. It's very bloody. So you get it's not that it's not action packed. It's just I don't know where we're going with all this action, more or less. But then about halfway through, you kind of start to figure out where it's going, and then 4/5 of the way through the book, you finally hit the full twist. This is what we're going to go here from here on out, and that's where it definitely hooked me from that point forward. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely bloody. And the fact that we have immortals that can't be killed means that it's going to be graphic.
That's right.
Because you got to do a lot to an immortal to keep them down.
And I don't want to generalize about Vikings, but they've been known to be violent.
Yeah, exactly. It is reminiscent. I like that. The Succession meets what did it say? Succession meets
John Wick. With immortal
John Wick. It's more John Wick than Succession, I would say.
Yeah.
It's even got a little bit of what's that one horror movie with the bride that has to get out of the house
before they kill her? Hide and Seek.
Yeah, Hide and Seek or something like so it's a little bit of that feeling as well. But it's definitely entertaining. Definitely entertaining.
Okay. And to your point, I really like the contrast. There's so many. They let you preview like 11 pages. I didn't put all of them on our preview notes, but there's like 11 pages of this book, which I think is like a 32-page book. So you're getting like a third of the book to read if you just go to the Dark Horse website and get the previews. But yeah, you get to you see the family, you see the estate, and they just kind of drop in right on their competitors or in somebody. Whenever a business deal doesn't go the way that they want it to go, they make it or go the way they want.
I honestly kind of, now that business is just run by like a handful of corporations, I would prefer it to be this way. let's instead of
Let
it being about who has the most money, let's who has the strongest axes.
let's bring back trial by combat.
Exactly.
Uh, but also, very interestingly enough, you meet Freya, and she's Frey, and she's really different. Like they immediately point that out by the shit. Right, she's at the fashion shows. She's doing the what's it called, charity work in different places,
Yeah.
like her foundation. But then as you kind of build that, it's like these two things headed at each other. Like there's going to be a collision that's going to be imminent, and
Yeah.
that's pretty apparent as you kind of get through the book. So I thought that was
But yeah, the book is definitely about
yeah.
all the males are very much capitalists, whereas Frey is very much I don't
There's
want to be
another
a part of
way.
this family,
Yeah, like
but I
there's a
will
different way to
give
view
away
it.
as much money as I can to
Right.
causes.
I mean, I guess if you're immortal too, like how much money would you need, or like, or how do you make your time mean something? And
Yeah,
I think they've chosen, both her family and herself chosen different paths.
yeah,
So yeah, I quite enjoy that. Like I said, the art is pretty cool. Like it's the kind of the aesthetic that I like. It definitely feels a little bit of a throwback to the '90s comics, but updated, like in a more
yeah.
contemporary fashion. Which is, I don't know, feels like kind of an oxymoron to tell you that something's a throwback that's contemporary, but that's the best way I can describe it. And yeah, they go all in on the insanity and the violence and the gore. So I quite enjoyed that as well. So all right, any other thoughts on the book?
No, it's worth does it say how many? Is it? I'm assuming it's like a mini of some sort, but does it say how many issues there are?
I don't think
No.
so. I don't know at the time. So I mean, a lot of the companies, they do. Let's do a mini series that it's successful enough. We'll just keep it as an
We'll
ongoing,
just keep going. Yeah.
so, which is great. I
That's-
mean, it's a good way to test out the market. So, all right. Well, thanks to our friends at Dark Horse.
Thank you,
Thanks
Dark
to Zach.
Horse.
I'm also on Zach Kaplan's media list, so like he sends us stuff all the time. He's got a few other comics coming out, and we'll talk about them as they come out in the next few months.
Nice.
And I think one of his books, Mindset, was just announced to be adapted to a TV series or something.
Oh, really?
From the Yeah, like that's a book from Vault where an app takes over people's mind, which is not as far fetched as it would have if you would have pitched that 20 years ago.
Isn't that Elon's what is it, Mind Link or whatever
Yeah,
Elon Musk has now?
yeah. So, all right. Well, to close this out, let's take a look at some of the variants for this